gonna tear your kingdom down, oh Lord.
And just some of the things that were said, I appreciate Billy being here and taking the ride and being one of those voices that's going to stand up to the establishment when even conservative establishment won't get involved. He continued to fight, and I'm so appreciative of his friendship and his endorsement, and looking forward to being involved with him in government going forward. And so thank you also, Frank and Ian, so much appreciate you opening your business today for us to come and to message the people here of South Jersey. It's so interesting that today, here at Atilis Gym, this is where the people meet the establishment. And this is where the fight begins, and this is where it's going to continue, because the establishment has decided they are for themselves. And the people, if we stick together, we are bigger and stronger and more powerful than the establishment. And so right here is where we take our stand and we continue to move forward. I'm so excited for June 8th. Listen, don't believe all the hype out there. There's a lot of people taking shots at us, but I don't see anybody else putting together trains going down the turnpike and showing up like this, pure grassroots. And every meeting that we get involved in just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the next time you hear about a Rizzo rally, show up again, bring 5 more friends, and the next thing you know, instead of having tyranny coming out of Trenton, we're going to put the terror into Trenton.
Yeah!
And so as a family man, my wife and my 4 kids are here. I'm a 3rd generation real estate developer here in the state. I have my own small construction company, and for the last 10 years, I've been pastoring in deep blue Hudson County. We started 2 churches there, and with my ministry and my business background, we have a pretty good cross-section of what's going on here in New Jersey with New Jersey families. And that's why I decided to get into this race, because I don't find anybody standing up for New Jersey families. And so we come with this message, and it's very simple and it's very clear. I'm running on the New Jersey family ABCs, and that is family autonomy, family business, and family core values, because those are the things that are under attack here in New Jersey. Phil Murphy doesn't believe in family autonomy. He has kicked the front door off of my house and off of your house, and they are coming in to take our children away from us. They're taking away our ability to educate our children the way that we want. My sister and I were 80s kids, and so we learned at the kitchen table the things that my parents wanted us to know. Phil Murphy has taken those things away from parents and taken them away from the kitchen table, and they've put them at the classroom desk. And they've departed from education, and they're now into indoctrination, because they've decided New Jersey families just are not woke enough to teach their children about social issues. I'll tell you, our family autonomy is under attack in education and also under medical freedom. And if we're not careful, our kids are not going back to school ever without a mandated vaccine. They pulled that 15 months ago, and they tried to remove the religious exemption for the flu vaccine. That predates COVID. Make no mistake, it is coming for our children, because they've decided New Jersey families can't make decisions for their children. I've got my 4 kids here today, and they don't have anywhere near their recommended doses of vaccines. But you know what? They have more than 0. You know why? Because I'm their father, and Jennifer's their mother, and we get to decide what gets into So they're teenagers now, and I'm so thankful that we've had that freedom to make those decisions. But I see some little ones here today, and if somebody doesn't stand up for family autonomy, the next generation, these kids are not going to be in school without the government telling them everything that's going to be injected into their bodies. And our autonomy, family autonomy, is under attack from education to medical freedom down to discipline. The recreational marijuana bill passed overwhelmingly on the ballot in November, but it wasn't good enough just to have recreational marijuana. Of course, the Democrats put in the bill that if my 13-year-old is smoking weed in the park in my town and the police catch him and bring him home and tell me about it, it's a third-degree felony on the police officer, not on the child who's using an illegal substance. And they're trying to make it so parents can't know about what their children are doing or discipline them or raise them the way that they want. Now, people have freaked out about that, and I'm glad that they did, and that part of the bill is coming out. But Bill Murphy has already laid down his cards. He doesn't want us educating our children, he doesn't want us medicating our children, and he doesn't want us having the discipline authority over our children. And our family autonomy is well under attack if we don't fight, and our family businesses are under attack. You're standing in a place right now that has decided that they were going to draw a line in the sand. I'm so thankful that they did, because you know why? If they didn't, this place would have a for rent sign on it, and it'd be vacant because these guys would have gone out of business. But you know what? They stood their ground, and that's so important. 1/3 of New Jersey businesses have closed and locked their doors. How did that happen? Because a tyrant in Trenton with a ballpoint pen decided who was essential and who wasn't essential, who was going to be a financial winner and who was going to be a financial loser. And with an iron fist and a ballpoint pen, he closed and shuttered businesses all across the state. My business of construction was relatively unaffected because we do residential renovations. And so it was residential, so it was deemed essential. But our ministry in Hudson County was deemed non-essential, closed. And you know why? Because the signage over the front door said City Baptist Church. But it would have been open and essential if the sign over the front door said City Liquors. That's why I knew before the ink was even dry on that ridiculous executive order that we were never closing our church. We weren't canceling one service. We were not mandating masks. We were not demanding social distancing or limiting capacity at all. We went straight through because I knew that we could keep our place safer than the Walmart. I knew that we could keep our place safer than Home Depot. That's why when these guys down here at Atilis decided that they were going to keep their doors open, I was all in from day one. I'm so thankful that there's people taking a stand for family businesses around the state. And let me tell you something else. Our autonomy, our business, and our core values are under attack. Our founding fathers laid it out in our founding documents, and they declared these things that were inalienable rights. They are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And you know why they put life first? Because liberty and the pursuit of happiness are irrelevant if you're dead. Life is a core value that we have in America all the way from the founding of our nation. And there's a bill coming through Trenton right now that if it lands on Phil Murphy's desk, he's going to sign it as his signature piece of legislation. And it's called the Reproductive Freedom Act. It's an abortion on demand bill that basically says a woman can terminate a pregnancy for any reason at any time during her pregnancy. As I said, my wife and I, we've got 4 kids. We know a little about the birthing process. Jennifer knows more about it than I do, but I was there. I was cheering her on. And when the bill says, for any reason, at any time, that's exactly what it means. I'm talking at the very end where the woman is there and her water breaks and she is pushing and the baby's coming, and then she decides in a moment, I can't raise this baby on my own. It's at that point that baby's life can be taken. And you know who's going to pay for it? Each and every one of you is going to pay for that decision. The bill gets worse, and it goes on to say that she can terminate that pregnancy regardless of domicile. It means she doesn't even need to live in New Jersey. It means she can live in Ohio or Oregon or Mexico or Italy or Russia. It doesn't matter. Any pregnant woman on planet Earth, if she doesn't want to birth her child, all she has to do is get to New Jersey, and each one of you is going to pay for it. We are a long way off from Bill Clinton's position on this, where he said it's safe and rare. You don't even have to be pro-life to be against this attack on our core values. You don't even need to stand on the position that I stand on being pro-life. But who wants their tax dollars going to something so disgusting like that? The legislation goes on to say that if a child is born outside of a medical facility, that if mom doesn't get that baby medical attention and the baby dies, there's no prosecution. That means she can birth the child at home, put it off to the side, and then when that baby dies, there's no prosecution. That's an attack on our core values. Let me tell you something today. As a former pastor, make no mistake about it. I am in the right lane. I don't apologize for being pro-life, being pro-gun, being pro-medical freedom, being pro-police, being pro-trust, and stand for the right people around the country. But as I mentioned, our ministry for the last 10 years was in deep blue Hudson County. And I make no apologies for being in the conservative right-hand lane. If you made a list of what a conservative Republican looks like, we check every box. But for the last 10 years, starting 2 conservative churches in Hudson County, we know how to talk across party lines. When people come into our church, we never ask them what their party affiliation was. And that's why I'm running on the New Jersey Family ABCs. You know why? Because even though I'm a conservative, I'm not running on traditional red flags of the GOP. I'm running for all New Jersey families. Because you know why? Democrats have kids that have not been in school for 13 months, and their kids have anxiety and depression that is skyrocketing. Democrats have businesses that are permanently closed. Hey, here's a news flash. Democrats own restaurants too. And they're coming into our campaign. And they're supporting what we are doing. Because I'm not running a partisan campaign. We are running a populist campaign for every New Jersey family. We've got a tall fight. We've got a steep mountain to climb. The establishment, the GOP, is against us. The Democrats, we didn't even get there yet. They're trying to deny the grassroots. They're trying to block us from every area of succeeding. But listen, it's meetings like this that are going to send a message loud and clear that New Jersey families are not only sick and tired of Phil Murphy, but they're tired of weak GOP candidates that have no chance of winning come November. I'm going to ask you to go on your cell phones before you leave this building. Go to our website, jerseyrizzo.com. Donate. Give us what you can. Listen, these guys here, they know what it's like to get suffocated by the government. And you know what? They're selling merchandise and they're taking donations, and this place is staying open based on grassroots donations from around the country. Listen, our campaign is going to survive and thrive on each and every one of you going to jerseyrizzo.com and giving what you can. Sign up to be a volunteer. Join our movement as we take back New Jersey for every New Jersey family. The New Jersey Family ABCs. Thank you.
Yes! One more thing I heard. See, I heard the preachers are gonna preach your kingdom down. Oh Lord, the preachers are gonna preach your kingdom down. See, Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.